on behalf of the Board of Trustees, it's good to see everybody. Okay, you're good. Still hearing me, okay. And I hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. And it's good to see you all. I feel like we don't see each other as much anymore, but I guess that's good. I'm going to turn the meeting over to Dr. Todd for a little while here. And she's got a very important announcement for us.
I do. So we have a very guest today. It's not a guest anymore. They are part of our team now. But okay, so Dr. Todd saying we have a guest, quote unquote, today, but as a new member of our team, we want to formally introduce Dr. Jordan Wright. Boss. Round. Dr. Wright is coming up to say hello. Dr. Wright saying hello, everybody. Hello. We are truly honored and excited. We have enjoyed working with each other and to enjoy working with each other. But we have rolled up our sleeves, and Dr. Wright has really gotten into the trenches with us, working unity, and they're just very thankful and happy to have this here and going in. Apologies for Aaron's working on the computer with our IT guy. Appreciate your patience. Not happy I don't have to remember my password, that he can just hear. Oh, is this better? Should I say this again? Or are we okay? Okay, my apology. All right. So third time is the charm, right? Fingers crossed on your face, bud. So I'd like to introduce Dr. Jordan Wright. And we are absolutely honored and thrilled to have him here. He has really just rolled up his sleeves and gotten in the trenches with us and working with us, alongside us, with similar philosophies and vision that we have for NCSD. So we're having a good time together as well. So we are just absolutely thrilled to have him here. And thank you for that welcome. I need to be a big part of this family. So look forward to the future together. Todd saying, this is our awesome board here. Dr. Wright, he said, yes, I have heard that. And it's to see everybody, meet with everybody. And Dr. Todd saying, no other board compares to the care and the expertise that we have here for our school. So you and I are very fortunate. Thank you.
Amy said, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
Okay.
Amy said, can you see everybody on screen?
And Dr. Jordan, I will tell you that if you're expecting a very formal meeting, there's nothing formal about us. That's how I like it. Okay.
That's right. Saying that is okay. I like it.
Okay, we do have a quorum. And,
Candace has her hand up.
what does she want?
I just wanted to follow up that I am also looking forward to meeting and getting to know Dr. White. Well, hopefully soon, maybe at the Christmas tea, fingers crossed. Getting you to be there, he's saying, yes, I will. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Okay, I will let everybody know that Wallace is not here tonight because he is in New York. He had a business engagement that he could not break away from to even be on Teams with us. I do have one item to add to the agenda. And that will be under new business, and it has to do with evaluations for self-evaluations for the board and evaluations for our superintendent. And we'll discuss those at that time. Are there any objections to adding that to the agenda? Okay. Did everybody get a copy of their minutes from way back in October? It feels like a long time ago, but it was just 2 months. Does anybody have anything to add or corrections to the minutes for the October open meeting?
No.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve? Mickey? Okay,
Tammy saying I second.
Tammy, second. All in favor, raise your hand. Okay. The closed session minutes. Does anybody have any additions or corrections to those minutes? Also in October. If not, do I have a motion to approve?
This is Jimmy.
Okay, second. Okay, any discussion on that? All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, so those have been approved. We have some legal updates. I will tell you the one thing that I think I know as far as legal goes.
Okay.
I do not think that the legislature will go back in session here in North Carolina until January. So anything that we're waiting on, we may be waiting a while. So unless you have better news than I do.
I don't have any different news on that front. I can speak to the MOU, which is similarly not as exciting. We have scheduled meetings, myself and council, for another one of the schools with the Department of Administration to discuss some of the questions that we have about the MOU and the way it's been drafted. And so we scheduled that meeting, and the other attorney and I attended, but our representative from DOA wasn't there. And so we've had to reschedule that. And I think that was probably just some scheduling. I won't she wasn't necessarily committed. We were trying to schedule a meeting on her behalf, but it didn't work out. And so we're working to reschedule that meeting and try to get some clarity about a couple of those items of the MOU.
Okay, and also the MOU concerning insurance with DPI.
Yeah. Yeah. So both of those MOUs, I think, were part of that discussion. And so we're still following up with DOA about some particulars about that impacts the school. And so we'll hopefully have some positive movement on that for the next meeting.
Okay. and I don't want to steal any of Dr. Todd's thunder, but just so you all are aware, DOA is asking us to pay them. Just so you're aware, and I'll let Dr. Todd expound on that. And that's where we are. It's your report.
They are asking for us to pay for the support that we've received, HR and other finances for those departments. And so that is still in discussions. And we've got some events to share. First, we have our annual Christmas tea. That's going to be next Thursday, before the 11th. Hopefully, we will be able to see everybody there. They're able to come. Second, we will have our holiday homecoming celebration. And that's going to be next weekend. So next week is going to be busy. And that's a Friday and Saturday event. We will have a wrestling match Friday night. And then Saturday, our co-ed basketball game. And then thirdly, we will have the end of the semester. And a lot of things wrapping up with that. So I did kind of just want to give us announcement that, we have really been accomplished quite a bit working together. And we have had some organizational changes. We have a new dean of students now, Melissa Shoemate, and dean of education here with Dr. Wright. So that has allowed us to focus on the various needs that we have of our students. And we have been able to set up a virtual CTE class. And we have partnered with Guilford County for that. We've been doing that this fall. That we've been offering a design class. It's design class 2 in the spring. And so there's 3 deaf students there that will be completing their certification certificate for them. And then we have set up a deaf mentoring program, and we will be doing an official training through REAL, Real South, AIDB. And so we are looking forward to that as well. Potentially providing more outreach and also providing services younger children that are deaf and hard of hearing. And we already have one role model of service in Burke County for one student, so continuing to grow that. And then also adding more deaf interpreters. Right now, in January, we will have 2 DIs working half days at the school. And then in the afternoon, teaching ASL for our staff. And our research grant that's related to with the Western Carolina University was accepted back in November. And so we will have our own kickoff meeting. I was gonna say, it's in a couple of weeks on December the 6th. So we've got a lot going on, and it's a lot of positive things. And it's all because we have an awesome team. Everybody has been so willing and motivated just to work together. And that's what's making us successful.
And Dr. Todd, I would just like to say that first and foremost, I am very excited that the research grant has been approved and that we're getting ready to work on it with North Carolina Collaboratory. We talked about this a little bit at the last meeting, but folks, this is a big step. This is a very big step. And so glad to be partnering with Western. Let me see if I can get this out. Western Carolina University. For those of you that don't know, I'm an Appalachian graduate. And so is Mickey. So that, it kind of sticks in your, that's right.
I think you and me both, yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yes, you did. You came from Appalachian too. You went to Western first, or second. Okay, the other thing that I want to commend Dr. Todd on is our deaf mentoring program. This is going to be great. We have been advertising ourselves to anyone that will listen as a hub for the western part of the state for all and any deaf services. We can be the research center, we can be the resource center, and this is the way we have been approaching all of our contacts. So congratulations on everything you're doing, and I agree with you. There is an awesome staff here. I have not been in any department where I have seen any resistance to taking on any role that's been offered. And I'll tell you from my own standpoint, when I ask somebody from the staff if they're willing to serve on that awful word committee, they say, I would be pleased to do it. And usually people are running the other way. Mickey. Okay, but congratulations, Dr. Todd. Really pleased with that. And I think I will say this also. You're a big reason for this. So thank you. Okay, other new business that we have are these unending policy statements. Yeah.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to turn this over to Ms. White for the first two that we're going to talk about in new business, and then I want to interject about the evaluations.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about two policies, both of which are going to be the first reading. First policy is 2310, public participation at board meetings. Now, I have more papers on this policy than thick as the New York City phone book, if they still have one. We've had another first reading of this policy, and it was more, my understanding, more of the standard North Carolina School Board Association policy. But since that first reading, some changes have been made to more suit our situation, and we've made some small changes. So we're going to say we're having the first reading again, if that's possible.
The man is here.
Is it possible?
It's possible. You did it. You did it.
Hey, I like you. Okay, the first thing we've got to make sure of, and I realized I had read this over and over again, and I had missed it until just this afternoon, so. But we want to make sure in the first paragraph that it said that the the Board of Trustees instead of the Board of Education. And it says, as an elected body of the school system, we are not elected, we are appointed. So we want to make sure that that goes into the final policy. Also, I want to make sure that we understand that this policy has two parts. One is request to place an item on the agenda. So that does not mean somebody would ask to have a certain topic on the agenda and would be given a certain amount of time to discuss that topic. That's different from the section B, which is public comment, where somebody would sign up and be given a certain time slot to comment. Not ask questions, but to comment. So there's two parts to this. One thing that was changed in part A, the request to place an item on the agenda was to say that the person who wishes to be on the agenda or have something placed on the agenda should notify the superintendent at least 6 working days prior to the meeting. The original draft said 10. There's also some, what I would say, grammatical corrections, punctuation, capitalization. We won't go into those because they do not change the meaning of the policy at all. When you go to the making public comments, it says that this comment session will not exceed 30 minutes. The original said 1 hour, but the time allotted for comments from the public would be 30 minutes of the total meeting. The chair would recognize speakers in order in which they signed in. They cannot donate their time, like say something, and then I'm going to give the rest of my minutes to somebody else. You have your time and that's it. You cannot pass it on to someone else. So there were some changes like that. Nothing really big, like the time factor. I said some grammatical issues. Also, we just want to make sure that all of us realize that just because we have this policy does not mean we have to immediately start to do these things. We don't have to immediately decide to let people place items on the agenda or to make comments, public comments. We're just establishing the policy for when we do decide, or if we decide that we want to do these two things. So if there's questions, I'll let somebody else answer them. And,
Yeah, too.
but we just want to let this count as the first reading of policy 2310.
And I want to follow up to what Mickey just said. We are putting a policy in place for agenda items from the audience and public comments, but this does not mean that we have to begin that immediately. I think we're just now getting our feet wet, and we're probably hold that decision for a while until we're comfortable with everything going on. But this is first reading. We'll have second reading at our next meeting. And if you're comfortable with what you've seen, we'll take a vote then. Okay.
And the second policy under new business that this will count as the first reading for is 4318, use of wireless communication devices. As I'm sure you have seen on the news, especially at the beginning of the school year, more and more schools are making strict rules about cell phone use by students or even possession of cell phones during the school day. We, of course, are different. We've had students in the dormitory that have cell phones, and so we've had to add that to our policy, to the standard policy. But Dr. Todd informed me that really the policy is basically what, even though the policy has not been passed, it's basically what they have already been using at school this year. They have a set of procedures in place related to this policy, and that it is working very, very well. So we will, just like we did with 2310, unless next time we have questions or edit, we will vote on this policy, but it seems like it's a good thing and doesn't really need much adjustment.
Okay, does anybody have any questions about either of these policies? Okay, so this will count as our first reading. Tanya has all of these in Google Drive. And I think you also have, you have the cell phone guidelines that you're using. The cell phone guidelines that the school is using is also in Google Drive. Okay. Right. The next item in new business is going to be a very brief discussion about, and this is all Tanya's fault. I will tell you, this is Tanya's fault because I've been watching these videos.
Me too.
So is Candace. So we're trying to catch up with Jimmy, who has finished his videos. But I did watch the one on board self-evaluations. And I think it's a good idea that we do one for our board because we got off to a rocky start. We've had some transition issues. We've hired a new superintendent. And I don't think it would hurt us to kind of look back and see what kind of job we're doing, see where we need to improve. And I think it would be good if we got staff input. So in talking to Chris, our lawyer, he suggested that we do an evaluation all consuming and include a baseline evaluation of our new superintendent and the board and let the staff comment. So we're working on, Chris gave us some examples, and we're going to be working on an evaluation form, and I will be sharing that with you as a board, and then we will approve that, and then we will have those evaluations done. And really, I think it will help us proceed and be better, have better communication. And so if you have any ideas that you would like to see on these evaluations, feel free to send them to me, Mickey, or Tanya, Dr. Todd. We'll put them all together, and then after that's done, you can comment on the evaluation itself and tell us if you think that's a good idea, a bad idea, or indifferent. But I just wanted to bring that up so you'd be aware as a complete rule that that's coming. And again, it's Tanya's fault because I'm watching all these videos. But now to old business. And again, I'm going to turn all of this over to Mickey, and she's going to comment on all of this, except for the child, if you want to.
Yeah.
Candace said she'd talk about the child.
Okay, so our first policy that we have had in front of us before is the child abuse and related threats to child safety, which is still in committee with Candace, and she's going to talk to us about that. It's a very, very important policy for us, as it would be for any school, but especially for us with responsibility we have for children in the dormitory. So, Candace.
Thank you, Mickey. We didn't go into great detail.
Yeah, hear you.
Can you hear me okay?
It's our setup. It's not her. She'll just be this time.
Good.
Sharon did not do the sound. Sorry.
Okay, let me change my brain here a little bit and get in the fun mode instead of spoken English mode. All right. Okay, I can do this. We've been working on the 40. It's been a couple of months now. This policy is not it's not the same as the other policies. So this one is, it's highly emotional. It's very emotionally heavy. Very heavy in English language too. I mean, it's English rich. It's very dense content. Many terms, lots of vocabulary. And honestly, it's kind of, it is hard to know what the interpretations are and what the meanings are behind all of that language. So developing that with the school. When we need to do that for like an everyday use language, NCSD. So we want to add 3 different video programs. Oh, so my video feed was moving on Ms. Milton. That need to catch up. So the policy covers. So we're going to add daycare, dormitory room, or life, and then also transportation. And so that will be all the areas. Those are areas that are crucial for us to look at and legally. So additionally, a second. So we're going to add providing interpreters. When do we do that? Who is it? How do we do that? All of those details will also be, and we will meet again December 18th. That's to do another review. So we've got subcommittees already established addressing each of those areas that I mentioned. And we'll do a discussion of that review, and then we'll do a consult.
Mr. Shoulders.
Okay, HR committee will have to, she said, sorry, I was doing a pun in sign language, so obviously the interpreter. So then HR will have to kind of do some role shifting here. Okay, so we've got to get the specific legal language in that and everything that's required around that. So that's basically it. And is that enough, or would you like to have more detail? Do you need to expand on that?
I think that's a good summary. And also I want to let the board know that we do have this policy temporarily approved, and that was done back in August. So we do have something working from here at the school. So we're not totally without any policy at all.
Right, so we have 5 other policies that we're going to count tonight as the second reading. Have not received any information from anybody that they are going to add, delete, or edit. The first of these is 4,700 student records. You have to do them individually, right? So, yeah, okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments about 4,700 student records before we go ahead with a vote to approve?
Question. This is homework. Old teacher asking, did you finish? Have you read all of these policies? Okay, just checking up.
So anybody like to make a motion that we approve this policy
Anything?
Tammy, yes.
I move,
Thank you, Tammy.
we, approve the policy. Number 3700.
Thank you, Tammy. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you,
Okay,
Sandy.
as policy is presented.
All in favor of approving policy 4700, raise your hand. Thank you very much. The second policy is 4705, confidentiality of personal identifying information. And I will just say that most of these policies are very straightforward. They're very short and direct. There's not a lot of leeway to change or edit. Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments, suggestions as related to 4705, confidentiality of personal identifying information? Would anybody like to make the motion that we accept this policy?
Jenny?
Jimmy, thank you, Jimmy. You'll have
I
a
move
second.
to accept
Tammy
policy.
just seconded.
Tammy, second. Thank you.
4700.
Yep.
Is that the right?
4705. All in-
4705.
All in favor of accepting as written policy 4705, raise your hand.
End of the second.
Yeah, that's approved.
Thank you. The next is 4001, equal educational opportunities. Any comments, questions, suggestions about that policy? Not, do I have a motion to accept it as written?
Jenny? I move we accept the 4000 as it is presented.
Thank you, Tammy. Do I have a second?
Jenny?
Second. All in favor of accepting this policy as written, raise your hand. Approved. Thank you very much. The next one is 4320, tobacco products. Said before, just don't do it. Anybody have any comments about that? Questions? Edits? No? Anybody have a motion to accept this policy as written?
I move that we accept policy number 4320.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Oh, this is Jimmy.
Thank you, Judy. All in favor of accepting this policy 4320, tobacco products as written, please raise your hand. And last but not least, 4330, theft, trespass, and damage to property. Again, stuff like that. Any comments, edits, questions? Not, all in favor of accepting this policy as written, 4330, please raise your hand.
Amy said, Jimmy.
Thank you, Judy.
Stay with us over there.
That passes. Thank you so much for your patience and for reading all these policies. I appreciate it very, very much.
And Mr. Shoulders,
Did we get a motion? Not-
Oh, did we?
I
I'm
think we
sorry.
just voted.
I thought we voted.
So what do? Do we go back and ask
Go
for a
back
second?
It's fine.
Ask
We
for a
already got
motion.
just the first.
Can I have a second on that policy
Yes,
forty-three
I move
thirty?
that we accept that policy.
I'll second.
4330.
You have a second. Already had the vote, so we're good.
Okay, and thank you, Shoulders, for getting all of that together for us.
It just means I can send some more.
We're ready for another batch.
Not too many.
Not too many. All right.
Candace especially
3 to 100.
wants a whole stack.
I can provide.
Thank you. Reminder, I've already told you that I've been watching these videos. Has everybody finished their videos? I see Tammy has. Ray, have you finished your videos?
Most of them, Jimmy said.
Ray, do you have a question?
Yes, this is Ray. I need to email Tanya. If there's some way I can get an update, for the videos to watch. I mean, those hours, because I've done 7 hours already, but I'm just not sure the topics. I did see where some of them were duplicated, and I had accidentally uploaded and signed twice. And so I'm not sure that it's actually, so since there was some overlap, if you could tell me like exactly which ones I'll kind of even get over there and maybe download it, which here I watched twice.
Are you getting the record of
And,
them as they're coming
and
in?
this is Tanya, and I will reach out to NCSBA. It often takes them some time to update their training logs, but I'll reach out and see which ones you have completed so that you know not to do those again. So you don't have to do any extra training, and I'll find out and email you.
Would you send me a list of those who are behind? And I will begin to tag. And everybody should have watched some in November because we didn't meet. So, so, and I can be honest with you, I don't know how many I've done, Jimmy.
Jimmy, my understanding from the comment that Ray was making, where there's double videos to watch, I had the same issue where I had seen some and I was like, oh, man, I gotta watch this again. And it was just like, I'd already seen it. I had to, just like, give me just move on. So I don't know, maybe go through it. I don't know if that was a technical error on their part. I'm not sure, but if you don't mind looking.
Let me say, guys, this is a whole lot better than going to Raleigh, is watching these videos. So let's remember that as we're struggling through. Yes, Ray, you've got a question?
It was a little bit odd that it was like everybody could sign no account. It wasn't individualized. And it looked like the link that was, it had like your name, but then some of the ones you click on had access to where it was twice. And so it just seemed like an error. Exclamation was maybe are they sure watching the right ones? It's still double check. But I didn't know. Sure, I'm covered. Yeah, that's supposed to be.
Well, I will add right here that watching the video on board self-evaluation would be a good one. Since we're gonna do that.
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right. Let's just be sure that all of you have your hours in to the school board catalog so that Tanya will get them before December 31st. Okay. All right. Committee reports and updates. As I said before, Wallace is not here. And Dr. Jordan, I owe you an apology because I have not introduced all of these wonderful people to you. So let me start with the vice chair to my right. This is Mickey White. And I'll let her tell you a little bit about herself.
Okay, I'm Mickey White. I'm the vice chair. Thanks to this woman over here. Worked at NCSD as a teacher in family and consumer science for 31 years and have been retired for about 7 years. Served on the foundation board that raises money for NCSD and am still on the new foundation, Deaf and Blind Pathways. Have a real passion and warmth about this school and just really proud and humbled to be on this board and be able to serve this place that I work at and love so much.
Thank you. Jimmy?
Hi, my name is Jimmy Ott. I retired from years ago, I guess. I think it was 4. Time goes really fast. Retired, so, but I worked here for 25 years as a job coach. And was also involved with NCSD history. Was involved with it since its inception in 1977. So close to 50 years now. But it's been very nice to meet you. And yes, I remember you from Charlotte. Yes, very good.
Tammy?
I can't see you, Dr. Wright, but this is Tammy. Welcome to NCSD. We are thrilled to have you here. There, should I say. I live in Maryland and I graduated, I'm an alum from NCSD. I was a classmate of Jimmy's back in 77. And, I see you now, change the camera view. So, I graduated from Dallas University and worked as a psychology professor there for 30 years. And I am honored to serve on this board. I am not a North Carolina resident, but I do still have family in the eastern part of the state, so I am in North Carolina quite often. Very happy to our school continue their academics.
Okay,
Nice to meet you.
thank you, Tammy. Candace?
Oh, and welcome, Jordan. My name is Dr. Liz Tate. I have a PhD in psychology, clinical psychology from Dallas University. I am a new-ish person to Morganton. Working on this here, but I've been in more than 7 years now and work as the program director. Hospital. Our psychiatric state facility network in our tech unit. We are thrilled and have you in the meeting you.
Ray?
Ray saying this is Ray Castillo. I grew up going to the best school as well. Graduated and an alum as well. At community college. But my son is a student at NCSD currently. Very honored to have you in one of our students as well, so I look forward to around working with.
And I always add to Ray's resume that he was a former student of ours. I always want to include Mickey.
Easter, yes, but not. Right.
I had,
Great Jimmy. And I grew up with Jimmy, you know, being around, so I've known Jimmy since I was little. And he's maybe 4 or 5, maybe a baby, I don't know. Yeah, can we say yes, since you were just a kid, then.
Ray is an alumnus and a parent, so glad to have him. Okay, back to our committee reports. Uh, Wallace, Wallace Saunders, Dr. Jordan is a young man that grew up on this campus. He is a CODA. His mother taught here. He ran around here for many years as a small child. He's now here helping us with the Board of Trustees, and we are very happy to have him. He works for Wells Fargo in Charlotte, and he's a great addition to the board. And you will meet him at the tea. He will be here. So the business committee, Mickey is going to give us a report for that.
Yes, this is the report that Wallace gave me to present for him. The finance committee met on October 16th and November 20th. Key updates include, obviously, as we've discussed before, no formal state budget has yet been passed, so we are still operating under the continuation budget. One note is that NCSD remains at risk of losing up to $391,000 of funding related to open positions. The next item was after House Bill 358 was signed by the governor to approve $400,000 in transitional funding for NCSD. Hannah, our budget person at NCSD, confirmed at the November 20th committee meeting that these funds are now in the NCSD accounts. Good news. The next point, $300,000 of transportation funding was also formally funded in NCSD's accounts prior to the October 16th committee meeting. The staff are currently in discussions with the Department of Administration to finalize the MOU to include agreement on fair and appropriate charges for administrative functions that were previously provided by DPI. And those are the things that he thought were important for you to know, and he's very sorry he couldn't be here tonight.
For the board's consideration, I want you to know that on the day that the 400,000 was announced, DOA called to congratulate us and asked for $60,000 for their services. So just be aware of that. And that is what our fine legal department is working on.
The concerns
Hint,
I
hint.
alluded to earlier.
Hint, hint. So just be aware of that. It was like they announced that they gave us $400,000 and every dollar bill had somebody's name on it. So that's where we are with that. Mickey, add anything to your report?
Except that we have now, except for Candace's one policy, we are finished and we're ready, like we said, for the next very small group of policies that we are working on.
It's about 20.
About 20. We need more people.
One thing I will add is I'm going to ask Mickey to form a small ad hoc committee to review especially our HR policies. And I've also asked that they touch base with Wendy in HR. For those of you that don't know, she's here tonight, and make sure that the policies we have are the policies we need. And if there's any changes, since they've been in effect for about a year, we need to take a look at them. And Dr. Todd, if y'all could take a look, just skim through and give us a little quick text if you think there's anything we need to do. Dr. Tate.
Which committee? HR?
HR.
HR, okay. So the recent comments that you just made, that's fine. I mean, that pretty much clarifies what I was saying, and our video feed is present. Yeah, I see, I'm freezing, okay. So the HR committee will set up an ad hoc committee with Wendy. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, Jimmy, marketing.
Sure. So, we didn't have a marketing committee meeting. Illness, so, anyway, co-chair was supposed to show up, the co-chair, so we ended up having to have a meeting. For the first time since we've been meeting monthly, and that's the first time I had to do that, so things are going pretty well so far as the brochure. You know, we're still, and we're still working on the website, that's still ongoing. So we're just waiting on licensure issues, getting all that solved. And with the brochure, as I understand it, as I'm communicating with Jason, and those name signs are the same, so let me make sure that I'm saying Jason Tuck over here, not Jordan Wright, who's going to be signing the same. Jason, I talked with him about the brochure. And, hopefully, we've got some adjustments that we're gonna make, some tweaking of that. Hopefully it will be ready. Looks like the content is almost ready for the board to, probably in January, that January meeting. So, I hope we'll have a marketing probably the first week of January after the students come back. So, let's see, then at board meeting, I'll let you know what to do. We'll email it or send it out. I don't know how we'll do both, but we'll, okay. So that would be at the first of the year, I feel certain that will be ready.
We'll add to what Jimmy said, they're very close to having that brochure ready, I think. And I'm very pleased with the way it looks. It looks really good. Okay, Dr. Tate, again with student behavior health.
So my update, student behavior health, done. I think that's been done. So the next meeting is December 18th.
Okay. Residential life, we're changing that to student life. And I'm very happy to say that committee is working very hard. I think they've done some great things in the dorm. They're using a curriculum there, and I think all of that's going well. Our next meeting is scheduled for December the 18th, but I'm going to move that. When are club days? Monday and Wednesday?
Mondays and Thursdays.
Monday and Thursdays. If we could back that meeting up to the 17th, that would help me tremendously. Thank you.
So I did.
Okay. Before we get to the report from the Academic Curriculum Committee, I have made a change there upon recommendation from Dr. Todd. So, Dr. Wright, you can blame Dr. Todd. Surprise, surprise, you have now been named co-chair of this committee.
Okay. Awesome.
Welcome.
And thank you.
Yes, welcome. You and I'll be working together. We wanted to make the change. Dr. Todd suggested it, and obviously the perfect fit
Still
because
throwing you under the
as Dean of Education, you are the person who's going to work most closely with curriculum. We have not met in a while. I think that's because everything's been going great and everybody has the curriculum that they're asked for or that they already had, and so we're good and we're not messing with a good thing, but we will meet, since we have a new member on our committee, we will meet after the first of the year.
Make sure it's early and often. I told you we were informed. Orlando is not here as the outreach committee, but I do know they are working, and I think they're working in relationship with the deaf mentorship, right?
And we also had a meeting with the New Mexico School for the Deaf. And we learned about their outreach. They gave us really good ideas.
Okay, good. That's great. Does anybody have any questions of the committees other than Dr. Wright? Okay, I have, just gone away with my agenda. Sorry. I have a statement of delegation of authority that the board needs to approve. And I apologize, it came out on your, if it came out on any agenda or anything. So I'm going to read it to you. And I have talked to Mr. Shoulders, and he has said, yes, we can do this. The board delegates authority to the superintendent to approve and implement salary and compensation adjustments between board meetings consistent with state policy and NCSD's budget. All salary actions taken under this authority will be reported to the board at the next regular meeting. And what this means, since we're not meeting every month, is that Dr. Todd can approve and change salary as long as it follows state policy and we have the money to do it. And then we, as a board, will approve it at the next meeting. Anybody have any questions about that? Candace?
Yeah, what happens if, say, the board disagrees with that decision, with that adjustment that has been made? What happens at that point?
What happens if that happens?
So I'll get back to you. I will have to look at how that interaction will ultimately play out, should there be a disagreement.
Okay.
Thank you.
We probably could solve that with a quick notification to me and then me sending to the board.
Yep.
And communicate, and if they have any objections. Could probably stop that before it happens. Does that answer your question, Candace? No.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything anybody else feels like we need to talk about before we go to closed session for personnel matter? Okay, and I am going to ask Wendy to stay for closed session because I've already talked to her about what's going on. Tanya?
Can I vote on that delegation this week, or are you waiting? There's a question.
I'll leave this to the board. Does the board feel comfortable in voting on this delegation that I just talked about? Or do you want to think about that? Or are you ready to make a motion and carry through with that? Don't all of you speak at one time. Are you ready to vote on that I just gave you?
This is Tammy. So it seems, Candace, you have some concern. I'm just wondering if maybe you want to get your questions answered before we vote, and then we'll move forward with it maybe at the next meeting. I'm not sure, how are we gonna know about the positions or if those adjustments have been? Yeah, because I've not looked at it so much either, not very much either. So if there are any concerns, I'm wondering if I can get those resolved prior to voting, and also if there are disagreements. I do think that's a good question to find out.
Let me ask,
I'm just throwing that out there.
yeah, let me ask that Dr. Todd give us an example of something that would come up, okay?
Sure. So let's be related to, you know, that we have, because of the budget, things have positions on hold. And it'll be there. So really, we've hired people and been required to pay them a lesser salary than what they deserve related to their certification, for example, or because of that position. For example, maybe the position was originally an 11-month position, but really we're hiring a 12-month position, but we're looking at stuff because of budget not having impact. So, in Senate bill recently, it was recently passed, and we got that $400. I was able then to make some adjustments that would in effect fix salaries for people, adjust their salaries for who being paid less than what they deserve based on their certification. So those kinds of adjustments would be an example of something I would actually appreciate having the other to go ahead and do. And then that would be something that we would discuss in a closed session meeting, then the board. Justice. That makes and also ask your policy. So we do have policy that
Yes.
says I can hire and make decisions, make personnel actions, decisions before I need to. And then get formal approval for your next meeting. So there's similarities with the policy that we already have. But I would just like to formal language and approval from you to make sure that I can do things right. Those decisions happen, but they may happen and Tammy's saying it's also time sensitive, I would imagine, because when you're hiring and you want to make those adjustments to salary. Okay.
So I can give you a little bit of an idea of how this would theoretically play out from a legal standpoint. The board can delegate this power to Dr. Todd. The way that statement is written, there would be no reversionary interest because you delegated that power. Of course, the board could meet at the next meeting and take that power back. But, you know, if this language were adopted, Dr. Todd would be able to make those changes. And when she reported, unless the language changes, we wouldn't be able to, the board couldn't roll back those decisions, but could make future decisions regarding that delegation of authority.
Other questions? Do you want to vote on this tonight? Remember, we don't meet again until February.
And yeah, no, I think we should go ahead and vote.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
This is Tammy. I move the that we accept delegating to the superintendent of personal actions.
There's a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, that has passed. Okay. Any other topic of discussion before we go to closed session? Okay. Thank you all for being in attendance. Appreciate it. And at this time, I would like a motion that we go to closed session.
Based on what the agenda says.
Okay.
I can
Vicky, would
read
you
it.
read this motion for us?
Sure.
Oh,
Ian can read it if you'd like.
Tammy.
Ian, would you
I
read
move
this motion?
That we enter closed session
Oh, Tammy's reading it.
as an order
Didn't
on
see
it,
it.
GS 1431811. And everything.
Perfect.
Okay, do I have a second? Okay, all in favor,
I can't second, I started a second, I can't do that.
all in favor, raise your hand. And do we need to take a short break before we get into closed session? Okay, all right. You have a comment, Brian?
I think well before January the 13th, I think, Eddie has an advisory committee meeting, which is mandatory. We need to have at least a four-sided conversation. 1, 2, 3, and hopefully me. Well before that meeting, in order to represent the best interest of NCSD in that meeting.
The Foundation, Pathways Foundation is going to hold a vote and declaration to continue you as liaison on the 13th.
I understand that, but I think we
Yeah.
still need to have at least a four-sided something well before that meeting. That,
We'll do that.
thank you for allowing me to get that.
Okay. Well, Eddie is very important to us.
Yeah, extremely important, given where the legislature is, where they are at the national level, and where the Department of Public Instruction is. Thank you very much. Good meeting.
And let me just say this for the board's benefit. Tammy, you don't live in North Carolina. But there is, on the national level, the Department of Education there's discussion of just disassembling it. Well, there's been big questions raised as to what's going to happen to special education if that happens. So there's lots of concern in that. All right. We're in closed session. Tanya, Ian will take notes if you wanted to. I
my
need to
computer
get-
test, I'm taking hand style. I could,
He doodles a lot, but
I do
I think he does have some words in here somewhere.
somewhere.
Okay, Aaron, do y'all Y'all want to
This is Tammy. I'll make that motion.
second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, we have approved the hiring of our groundskeeper. Okay. Now we make a motion for the other.
To to match the equity between the school and the recognition of her contributions pending confirmation.
That's not bad, but
Yeah.
okay, you got that. Okay, Mickey's gonna make a motion.
I move that we amend the contract for Dr. Todd in order to obtain equity between her salary and that of Eastern School, pending, or conditionally pending upon availability of funds to do so,
Retro.
and retroactive to this past July 25, July 25.
Do I have a second?
Jimmy. Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, thank you very much. Passed. Do I have a motion to adjourn, or does anybody else want to look at the cat? Ray seems to be very fascinated with it. It's good to see all of you. Thank you for being here tonight. For anybody that's in the snow area, be careful tomorrow. We did send the kids home today, so Ray says, I hope not.
Hopefully not.
And if anybody can swim a river, Candace needs food.
I do, please, bring it on.
She's stuck on the other side with no bridge. Good night, everybody. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Says goodbye.
Do I have a motion
Ray
to?
says goodbye.
I need a
Candace says
motion.
I move to adjourn.
Mickey has moved that we adjourn, so do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
Tammy.
And Jimmy at the same time.
All in favor? Good night. Thank y'all.
And Jimmy says, Merry Christmas to you all.
Everybody that can, come to the tea.